Hey guys, welcome to Neat Movie News. My name is Dean Thomas.
His name is Dean. We like Dean.
And a movie that finally expanded into a theater near me was one that I've been really looking forward to, and that is Loving.
I want to take Mildred up to DC and get married.
You sure about that?
By the power vested in me by the District of Columbia, I now pronounce you husband and wife.
In here? What you doing in bed with that woman?
I'm his wife.
That's no good here.
Reason number one I wanted to see this movie right off the bat, you didn't have to tell me anything else, is because it's directed by Jeff Nichols, who did Take Shelter, Mud, and Midnight Special earlier this year. Three movies that I really enjoy, and I actually love Mud. That was one of my favorite movies of 2012. It's probably one of my favorite movies of the past 5 to 10 years. I just love that movie, and I love Nichols movies overall, so I was immediately in. Then you tell me that Joel Edgerton's going to be in it, who's been incredible in some very recent stuff with like Warrior and The Gift, which he even directed. The guy has been on fire. He was in Midnight Special, directed by Jeff Nichols. And then Ruth Negga was something I had heard a lot of Oscar buzz about this movie in general, but I hadn't seen her in much, so I was very interested and curious to maybe see, is this the role that really puts her out in the forefront and really makes her a name? And I would say it definitely does. Now, the movie is based on the true story of Richard and Mildred Loving, who lived in Virginia, and they were an interracial couple, which obviously back in the early or late 50s, early 60s, that was not something that was okay, especially not in Virginia. So when they're married, the state of Virginia, obviously it is not legal. They force them to leave the state, and they cannot return to the state together for 25 years. So really from there, it's their struggles of trying to live so far away from home, kind of under this slight persecution they are. They have children that are suddenly, they're told, the state of Virginia says it's unfit to bring mixed race children into the world. It's unfair to them. And this movie deals with some very powerful and some very kind of hard to even consider actually happened in less than 50 years ago. But this movie does some very good things. I think one, it really portrays Mildred and Richard very well. You really see that they do love each other. They are really this couple that's kind of struggling through the world around them that does not accept them, but they're also very quiet people. They do not want a lot of attention, especially Richard. He wants to just stay on his own. He just wants to take care of his family, and that's it. He just doesn't want to bother anybody. And that is something where the movie lost me just a little bit. Well, I definitely cared about the characters, and I definitely connected with what they were going through, but there's times where, because I think this couple was so subtle and they were kind of so under the radar, Jeff Nichols felt like that was the right way to go with this movie, and I cannot blame him for that. But there's times where I was like, like really push it, because there were some horrible things happening to these people, but it didn't feel like that horrible because the way the movie did it. It made it just feel like it was sort of this like timeout as compared to like a punishment or just this horrible wrongdoing. And I think that was because Jeff Nichols wanted to make this kind of quiet, subtle movie. But there was times where I was like, just give me that impact, make me really feel for these people. And I never felt like he really ratcheted it up to that. He just kept it a very kind of quiet movie. Now that being said, I was still fully engaged the whole time. It was never like bored or anything, but I just wish there was a little bit more punch to it. Like they were willing to really pull at my heartstrings, but they never quite went there with it, and that was something I thought would have maybe improved the movie a great deal more, actually. Now, that being said, the performances are great. Joel Edgerton plays Richard very well, this kind of quiet guy who sticks to himself, just wants to take care of his family, take care of his wife. And then you've got Ruth Negga, who really, this is her movie. It's mostly about her, I would say, and she steals the show. She is really good as this kind of quiet housewife that's still got a lot of strength to her, a lot of power to her. She is going to command her life for sure. That is definitely something she wants to do. She loves her children a great deal and would do anything for them. So I really did connect with the characters. I thought the story was something that had to be told. I remember learning about this story in my interracial communication class. I want to say like my freshman year of college. So I think it's a story that definitely needs to be told and people should learn about. And it's kind of shocking that it was only less than really 50 years ago that things like this were happening. but I think the movie itself missed out on really having that sort of brutal emotional impact at times, and it kind of lacked that. And I think that was a choice Jeff Nichols made, but I wish he had maybe made a different choice. So I definitely think Loving is a good movie, and I think people can definitely enjoy it. And I think there's a good chance you'll see some possible Oscar nominations. I would think Ruth Nega's got a good chance of getting nominated for Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress, whichever one they decide to kind of push her for. But for me, I'm going to give Loving a 74%. It's a very good movie with an important story to tell, and things are done very well. There's great performances. Michael Shannon shows up as he does in every Jeff Nichols movie, and he is really, really good in the movie. But overall, I thought the movie just lacked that emotional punch, that impact that I was really hoping it would. Instead, the movie decided to be kind of a quiet, subtle film, which I can't blame it for, but I was looking for something different. So that's why I'll give it a 74%.
Is there anything you'd like me to say to the Supreme Court Justices of the United States?
Yeah. Tell the judge I love my wife.
Well, there you guys have it. That is my review of Loving. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at NeatMovieNews for all the latest in the world of movies. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you back here next time.